Hi there, this is Oliver Lehmann from Munich in Bavaria in Germany. I think Munich is the most beautiful city in Germany. However, this is not the topic for today. The topic will be the upcoming changes for the PMP examination. Scheduled by PMI, the Project Management Institute, for the 16th of December. 16th of December. It's July that I'm recording this video here, so August, September, October, November, December, 5 months left, not that far away. Actually, for me as a trainer, it's 3 months, because I will come out with the new training materials 2 months before the change, and I recommend my trainer colleagues to do it similarly. And sometimes you have customers who want that even earlier, so you have to then have your materials prepared maybe earlier than middle of October. If you're a trainer colleague of mine, you're welcome to see what I found out in this examination content outline. And if you are a candidate for the examination, it may also be helpful for you if you go for the exam after 15th of December, what to be prepared for. You may also find out, let's do it before the change. I feel better prepared for the now still current examination that will be valid until 15th of December 2019. So it may be helpful for you and for your preparation as well. Let's have a look together into the so-called content outline, into the changes that are coming up. And there is something in the heart of these changes, and that's, as I said, the content outline. The whole thing goes back to the year 2005. In the year 2005, PMI made a major change in the examination. It was done mostly by the manager certifications at that time, Dr. Danny Smith. And one of the things that he renewed was the implementation of a new document by the time called the PMP Examination Specification. It is the syllabus of the examination. Some of you will say, well, hang on. Isn't this the PMBOK guide? Isn't the PMP certification requiring people to memorize the PMBOK guide with its inputs and outputs, tools and techniques, terminology and all these things? Actually, no. That's the CAPM. Some say CAPM. That's the more entry-level certificate of PMI. No, the PMP is about application, and the syllabus is not the PMBOK guide. We will see a bit later what the PMBOK guide, what the role of the PMBOK guide is here and why we have that. So we had this syllabus for the examination specification, and it broke down project management into so-called performance domains. The document had 6 performance domains here: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. And you say, you know these, yeah, that's PMBOK guide, that's process groups, we know them from the PMBOK guide. Yes, to some degree, yes. However, not 100%. It's the same structure, but not 100% the same contents. There was a 6th performance domain by the time called professional responsibility, and this was dealing with ethical topics, which was a big topic in the year 2005, maybe more than today, unfortunately. In 2010, the document was renewed. It was called the content outline now, so it was also renamed, and professional responsibility fell out. This doesn't say that we are no more interested in ethical methods. What it means is simply they were absorbed in the other 5 performance domains. I think it was to some degree confusing for people to find a topic of the PMBOK guide. The process groups also mentioned as performance domains in the content outline, with to some degree different contents. The contents of the content outline were only partially in alignment with the PMBOK guide. A lot of topics were named here that were not mentioned in the PMBOK guide, and it was hard for people to understand that the PMP examination is more than just the PMBOK guide, but that's what it was all the time. So that makes it a bit difficult for learners, and sometimes, by the way, also for trainers who also did not understand that. The document was replaced in 2015, and this is the version that we have right now, July 2019, and that will be replaced by the new version as valid for the exam on 16th of December 2019. Here is a major change now. Now we are no more following the process groups with our performance domains. Now it's a completely different thing. In the new content outline, instead we will have now people, process, and business environment. Business environment means the environment in which we do our project. Our project is probably embedded into this business environment, and that's also the environment for which we are working. We do something to bring value, to bring benefits, to bring deliverables to this environment. If you do customer projects, then there are at least two organizations building this business environment. One is the customer, the other one is the contractor, and you will probably be working for the contractor, so you have to look at two different business interests. Can be very challenging here, become very challenging in here. I think business environment is an interesting topic here as well. So now we have these two documents, the PMP examination content outline and the PMBOK guide. How are they linked with the examination? Very easy to explain, sometimes difficult to understand. The PMBOK guide is the reference. Most of our contents of the examination now, and we will see a bit later, about 50% of the future contents are linked with the PMBOK guide. So the other percents are linked with something else. The syllabus is the PMP examination content outline. I recommend to trainer colleagues use this as a basic structure for your seminars, and use the PMBOK guide as a target for references. Take knowledge from the PMBOK guide, but don't forget that there are other sources there as well. Academic sources, but also other sources. Here, a brief look into the examination content outline. This new document, 2019 document. One of the nice things about the examination content outline, it's short, it's a quick read, and it's an easy read. The language is simple and easy to understand, in difference to the PMBOK guide, which is thick, heavy, and sometimes very, very hard to understand. One of my foremost jobs as a trainer is to help people understand the PMBOK guide, the philosophy in that, and the terminology, and many other things. So this is an easy document. Nevertheless, let's have a look into that. The PMP examination is reflecting the practices of the project management practitioner. As I said, it's not just about memorizing the PMBOK guide, as a lot of people believe. No, it is practitioner knowledge. It's implementing the knowledge. Do you know in a certain situation what to do with this knowledge? How to respond, how to react, how to proact, maybe, to avoid problems coming up. The examination has been written by PMP certification holders, practitioners. Again, the authors are not people from theory, are not people from academia, at least most of them. They come from practice. They are normal project managers writing these. But each of them has to provide at least 2 academic references. I have a bit knowledge of academic references, and I think it's very hard to find good material there. A lot of that is very, very theoretical, but obviously they have to do that. I think it's an interesting task for them. There are noticeable differences between this PMP examination content outline and the guide to the project management body of knowledge. The guiding document for the examination is the content outline, the PMP certification builds on this document. The PMBOK guide is a reference, and as we see, not the only reference. And it also says the volunteers that work here on building the examination content outline, writing questions, were not bound and will not be bound by the PMBOK guide. So expect topics that are outside the PMBOK guide. We have these three domains: people, process, and business environment. And we see the largest domain with most questions, items means questions in the test, 50%, is process. May sound like a lot now, but in the past it was more near to 70-80%, much less on people, business environment. This is obviously changing. People with 42% will have to talk a lot about teams, about leadership, conflict management, and all these things. And then there is this third, smaller performance domain, which is business environment. Business environment is the organization in which the project is embedded. It's the organization probably for which we are working. We have to bring value, benefits, deliverables to this organization. It's especially interesting if you do a customer-facing project, because you have two organizations. You have your own employer, which is probably the contractor, and then there is a customer paying the contractor, and you work for both organizations, for the contractor who has to bring money home, and for the customer who wants to see the deliverables and the final value and the benefits. So it's getting quite complex in here, and we have to understand that. Half of the examination will represent predictive project management approaches. That's what the PMBOK guide mostly describes. So 50% is mostly rooted in the PMBOK guide. Maybe not all of that, but the majority of that. The other half will represent agile and hybrid approaches. I'm not 100% sure what hybrid approaches means here. I know some people who use this term, use it very frequently, and describe their interpretation of that. Unfortunately, they have very different interpretations of what hybrid really means to them. Nevertheless, we will have to work with that. We'll have to understand that. Much better understood is what agile approaches means. There are some methods described out there, well-described methods, so it will be based on that. And we have our agile practice guide, which is also an important basis for that. Predictive, agile, hybrid will be found throughout the three domain areas, not isolated to a particular domain or task. So where we look at, we will see predictive methods, and also agile and hybrid. So I think that will be quite challenging. We will see how good trainers will be able to prepare students for that. The structure of the content outline has three tiers. Top tier is domains. That's the three domains that we just saw. Below that is tasks, and the tasks are then broken down again into enablers. These enablers can be just lists describing a process. An example here is managing conflict. The first task in people in the first domain is manage conflict, and the enablers are actually process steps for that. You may be aware that I do from time to time inside organizations project business healing days, where customers bring their contractors, or contractors ask their customers to send representatives. Then we sit together, talk about the conflicts that they have, try to identify the origins of these conflicts, and ask ourselves, how do we find solutions for that? And we follow the same process in essence here. So I think that part is easy to understand. This is what it looks like in the content outline. The first domain is people. The first task inside this domain is manage conflict. And then we have the three enablers here. An interesting statement on top: these enablers are not an exhaustive list. So if some question that is written fits into a domain, fits into a task, it may not follow these enablers. It may be outside of these enablers as well. So you see the area of knowledge that you will have to bring into this examination, that you will have to understand, will be very, very big. And again, it's a challenge for us trainers to prepare you well for this big amount of knowledge that you will have to have. I think you will need very good trainers for that. That's the first video, and I'm planning a series on that. The next videos will go into more details of these domains and tasks and enablers and what you should know for that. If you want to keep updated when I bring out new videos, the easiest way is link with me on LinkedIn. Yeah. So you will get a message by LinkedIn. There's something new out there. I'm happy to accept connection requests that come from people from project management. And I'm very happy to help you preparing for your examination. Or if you are preparing other people, I'm also happy to help you if you're a colleague of mine, if you're a trainer, so you can do this here. You can also send an email to oliver@oliverlehmann.com or visit my website www.oliverlehmann.com. I would be happy to see you again in the next video, and have a great day and a lot of success in your business, in your project, and in your preparation for the examination. See you soon again, and have a great day. Goodbye.